coiled, eyes sharp. This lion's been waiting 4 months for this exact moment.
They built him a tunnel, not just to move, but to arrive, safely, quietly, and without...
The gate opens, and the forest welcomes back a king. Just hope there are no campers around. Endangered species. But today, this one takes to the skies for a second chance at wild freedom.
Go.
Go, little guy. Go, baby. Aww.
The good life inside someone's home.
A couple of elephants casually turn a tea plantation into their personal...
He's really mad.
Picked up from an HOA neighborhood and very vocal about it, this guy wasted no time making a getaway. St. Lucia is surrounded by Isamangaliso Wetland Park, home to 800 hippos. So this was a regular Tuesday for these kids.
Jump, run!
Got out of here in a hurry.
An uninvited giant invades a village, and that cow can count his lucky stars.
Spent the winter at the Montana Wildlife Center and are now being released. They quickly remember this is home and dash off to explore their surroundings.
They'll now fly wherever they want and help strengthen the species.
This king cobra that was saved from a grim fate by a group of volunteers.
The female rhino stopped dead in her tracks.
Or just hit cruise control. Aggressive, hissing, and totally done with humans, this raccoon made letting go a full-body workout.
Watch yourself, I got an attack over there. Get out of there. Goodbye.
Blocks traffic with gentle curiosity.
This is ridiculous. I'm afraid they're dying. Look at them, they're on the ground. This is awful. Okay, we're just gonna have to try and get them out. This is
From chaos to calm, he finally found the quiet of the world. Every leap now belongs to the trees, not rooftops or alleyways.
Great joy as the animals, once sick, were now healthy and ready to return to the wild.
Healed and hungry for fish again, this seal slides into the waves. You don't.
Boone was caught on camera attempting to break into a home near Cape Town, South Africa. The town
They're scavengers, but vital ones. This one's back on the job.
Then the ground trembles as a giant bison strolls calmly down the highway, ancient strength meeting modern steel.
In India, a lion attacks a cow shelter. The owner shows nerves of steel.
Them free.
It's an animal outside that can end you in a second.
Another owl vanishes into the tree line. Mystery restored.
You don't need to speak cow to know what they're saying. That run, that little leap.
This coyote was freed from a leg hold trap by wildlife officials. Scared, but uninjured. 5 gentle giants get their first taste of freedom.
Into the open sea. At first, it checks out the boat, almost like it doesn't want to leave. But soon enough, the little seal remembers this is its home and happily starts riding the waves.
This hyena might not look too excited, but trust me, it's better than rehab.
Cattle ranches that can also create habitat.
The wild doesn't ask questions, it just watches. And as these lions stepped into their future, it waited and
Grandpa! Ah, a snake! Oh my god, there's a snake! Where? Oh. Hurry, baby!
Get the memo. A missed zip tie changed the plan, but not the result.
Не бойся. Выходи. Давай. Отлично. Давай, давай, давай. Молодец.
cautious to calm.
Can you feel their excitement right now? You feel like they know now that they're...
Oh, yeah. That moment where they realized this wasn't a temporary visit. This was freedom.
Down! Go.
Go. Go. Come on. Come on.
After 4 months of rehab, this orphan cub was released back into the wild near Orange County. She and her sister were rescued after
window like nosy neighbors, their tiny hands pressing the glass as they plot their necks.
At first, you might think these cute, cautious creatures don't want to leave their cages, but that's just their nature. Lorises are known for moving slowly. Maybe they're just taking their time to really enjoy their newfound freedom.
This osprey wastes no time heading home. But his wild instincts never left him. They were just waiting for a chance to matter again. Apparently, traffic rules don't apply when you're a 2-ton tank with a horn.
הם בקטע של אוכל עכשיו.
לא, שלחנו את השקיות. לא, לא, בלי השקיות, חמודים. מתוקים. מעיפים את הילדים שלהם כאילו.
A wild pig family turns trash into treasure for their family dinner. This guy was probably bored and just needed a quick evening stroll into the city.
And just enjoyed stretching its wings with all the cameras snapping away. What a charismatic bird.
Calm during transport, explosive the second the crate opened. Heavy footsteps, slow stare, then full speed into the water. He's like, "Did you guys fix the neighborhood yet?" It took weeks of rehab, but this blue penguin is finally free.
Follows sneaking up on a man not to attack, but to offer a gentle, almost affectionate touch.
Meet Pigeon and Amber, two sea lions finally set free in the ocean after being rescued. After everything they've been through, they're finally back where they belong, enjoying their freedom.
Two orphan cubs, finally free and charging into the wild to... She ran like she knew it. You can see the hesitation, but then boom, gone like a rocket. Self a little jump scare on the way out, but this carbish is really happy to be home. Prove that even they get zoomies.
Turned it on? Gee. Oh!
Even
Watch as these amazing creatures experience freedom for the first time, carefully exploring their natural surroundings, one step at a time.
Animal lunges for a man's bag, startling onlookers.
This 5-day-old elephant calf got stuck in a drained swamp, but was rescued and reunited with his mother, Zavaya. He was almost activity. This leopard basically teleports into freedom.
Well, as always, they're usually a little... There we go. Alright, watch him go on, yep.
After a long journey, these elephants have finally found their freedom. For the first time in their lives, they get to call the shots and decide how to spend their day.
This was one of many cheetahs that were rescued from smugglers, and now they're finally running free. This one's not thrilled about cameras, but he's free. After getting fitted with a GPS tracker, this alligator is now part of a University of Georgia study. The device logs his location every hour. Feed Nation released wild buffalo back onto tribal lands. The last of the bison to survive the slaughter of the 1800s were captured and sent to Canada.
Stop it! You'll bloody break the thing.
Relocated from another reserve where overcrowding and drought made survival difficult. But here they've found a place with everything they need for a peaceful, thriving life.
Strength. Now they're back in the ocean. No training wheels needed.
Those little burned paws didn't quit after months of care. This gray fox finally gets his forest back. Watch.
Stepping into a shop as if it owns the place to everyone's disbelief.
Musk oxen took off at full speed when they were released into the wildlife park. They were carefully relocated to a place where the
Rescued from a pond, this croc is back to reclaim his swampy throne.
That gate opened and chaos came with it. Joyful, striped chaos.
Alright. Back up, see if he goes.
We'll go everywhere.
He didn't even finish his apples. Dude? Seriously?
Natural habitat at Gir Forest National Park in India.
After the sick and injured penguins were treated, they were given a second chance to live a happy life in their natural habitat.
He's free, and
There goes another ducky.
Forget mountains, these goats have curbs to climb and trash cans to raid. A peregrine falcon is back in the wild skies it owns. Hyenas get a bad rap, but you can't deny seeing this one regain its freedom is pretty wholesome.
Who had raised these orphans joeys and cared for them as if they were their own children.
Chaos unfolds as a group of monkeys floods the road, leaping across cars and power lines like an acrobat of the wild.
Terrible condition in Margate, UK. She was taken to a rehabilitation center, and these images capture the heartwarming moment she was released back into the sea. Watch as Dolly swims toward freedom, leaving her tough past behind.
Forward is a chapter closing.
Heartwarming sight, a pair of bears greets the drivers on the roadside.
The flippers hit the waves, and that's all it took. One powerful swim, and she vanished like she'd been. No parade, no drama. Just quiet waves and ancient instincts kicking back in.
After years in captivity, this rhino finally gets to charge through open fields again.
Back out of a store.
Hey, 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 hey!
And here we have the latest trend in urban commuting, wild elephants. All the trunk space with no road rage. That's new.
Sam just stands still for a second, as if remembering how the world used to feel. And then, just like that, he lets go.
A pair of beavers, a mom and her baby, were moved from a village to a spring in Wyoming.
From trapped in a truck for hours to the open savanna in seconds, these elephants are well on their way to a peaceful life. These guys probably do this all the time. No one at the market.
People were worried the eagle wouldn't be able to take off right after weeks of rehab.
When you're a reptile by birth, but a good boy at heart. Scientist Tamiel Brunt released this young male platypus after collecting health and tracking data. This just a little guy now, but one day, top of the food chain.
Ram's car is parked along the road, defending his turf against invisible rivals.
Even the wind couldn't keep up with this kestrel's takeoff.
Each of those tanks is on a truck, and then when they get to the Amur River location, then that tank is lifted up and put on a barge, and then they go.
No hook moment.
There, Karen!
Okay, big guy.
A runaway cow storms into a shop, toppling shelves and stunning shoppers into silence. The rain begins, and the birds huddle together under shelter, nature adapting just like us.
Check out this whale shark, rescued and finally returning to the ocean.
Looking for the zebra crossing. Get it?
Were born in captivity, they didn't hesitate for a moment when the doors to freedom opened.
This bear doesn't need much, just grass underfoot, sky overhead, and finally, space to be soft.
During a huge crash.
A bear and cubs give us front row seats to a nature documentary.
The crocodiles didn't realize during their journey that the reptile center had made them an amazing gift by sending them to a huge reserve.
Forest welcomed her back, and the rangers knew when to...
Elegant, calm, and free once more, nature's trumpet returns to the lake.
One of the most rewarding sights for wildlife reserve staff must be watching joyful, healthy animals run to...
Nearly 100 wild horses were released in Nevada after roundup and fertility control. you've got apex predators on patrol, you don't even need a security system.
The neighborhood teens
Nick, where
were
are you?
sneaking into their jacuzzi.
Come here,
Turns
please.
out it was an entire family of bears enjoying spa night.
Look at him.
From cold cages to warm sun and open space, Alda and
Seconds, these little ones are about to experience their home for the very first time.
The moment the gates open, the wild instincts take over. Pure, silent power.
These parrots were sadly captured by poachers, but thankfully they were rescued.
Sassoon Marsh field days for the kids. We're gonna release these ducks. We've saved these ducks from being killed in the farm fields.
Elsewhere in the city, a deer wanders through streets meant for cars. Somehow it ended up in this man's drive.
Native to Mexico's highland forest, thick-billed parrots are endangered because of habitat loss and trapping. An army of gray-tailed grackles take over a parking lot in Texas. They didn't even pay the parking ticket.
Scare them so they take off.
Standoff follows between humans and a wild beast, both frozen in awe and fear, uncertain.
We just captured at Logan Airport. It's one of 26 owls that we actually captured and relocated for the safety of the owl and safety of the planes at the airport. We're down here at Duxbury Beach letting the birds go down here.
A snowy owl, relocated from an airport for its safety.
Made the right call.
Okay, lift the kids in.
Yes, she's going, she's going. Down.
Sapat.
Hello.
This predator tried to attack a man out of fear. At first, it didn't realize it had been set free and kept defending itself. But once it understood it could escape, it dashed straight for freedom.
Not just that, even an anaconda slithers across the road, its giant body gliding through the...
Hey guys! We're in Primal High School.
Wild horses lined up on the side of the road.
Perfect new home.
Vermilion Cliffs in Arizona. Watch as this majestic bird spreads its powerful wings, getting ready to take flight.
The road, a huge wild animal walks beside cars, calm and confident. Suddenly, an alligator appears near people, slow, fearless, and wild.
On his way back to the sea, and as a result, the police have been called in.
into a house, sniffing around curiously. The dog is a brave little old-timer, still protect...
Hers and Tuffa didn't grow up caged. They grew into their instincts. Every leap says they're home.
Greater kudus are finally free, leaving all their troubles behind. Many volunteers admit these moments move even the toughest among them, and it's easy to see why.
Authorities in India released 196 deer into a local sanctuary with the aim of rebuilding the population. Judging by how eagerly the animals rushed, it's clear they were...
Lizard trying to pick a fight with their cat.
The fastest bird on Earth is back where it belongs.
Can have light and dark fur. The main difference is size. Adult male grizzlies can weigh upwards of 1,000 pounds and stand roughly 7 feet tall.
This caiman was released after being tagged and checked by a vet as part of a population control study. It was clearly ready for this moment, the big flight home. It's such a majestic sight. It's hard to imagine how this bird handled being cooped up during its treatment.
Raspberry, a female giant Pacific octopus, was returned to Puget Sound after her stay in human care. This rescued badger takes a final sniff. Hope no one's in her way, because she's got this whole wild thing down.
Keep an eye on this little bobcat as it takes a moment to realize that freedom is just a few steps away. Then, in the blink of an eye, it dashes into the forest, leaving...
You can tell he's already planning his next trash raid.
Imagine how long this little guy had been waiting for this moment.
Aren't used to being treated well by humans, but these lucky animals crossed paths with kind people who healed them and released them back into the wild, giving them a second chance at life.
This unexpected guest may have lost his way, but thankfully the Kangaroo Whisperer was here to save the day.
It barely made a sound, just a ripple, but that quiet glide back into the Mekong.
When you're having a health emergency and the nurses won't let you in.
It was return. Back to the forest, back to the herd, back to peace.
They come in the same place. Oh, there goes Bobby. That one's still
This koala is finally heading home after getting some much-needed care. Watch as it quickly realizes it's time to say goodbye and gives its rescuers one last look, almost like a thank you for all their help. Some beaches in Massachusetts have special teams dedicated to this very task. A huge shout out to them for their incredible work.
In the suburbs, an alligator sneaks up to a home only for the family dog to save the day.
He didn't need encouragement, just the right river. Now he floats like he's been waiting years to remember how. The ground didn't just shake from their hooves. It felt like history shaking off the dust.
A lucky guard almost suffers the consequences of his carelessness. Birthday in the wild. Rescued after his nest collapsed, he's now soaring free. Happy first birthday, Pat!
No hesitation.
Black bear turns a backyard hole into his
appears, causing this family to bolt away.
The gates opened and the forest didn't even blink. It just welcomed them back like nothing changed, but everything did. Tails up, heads high, they moved like freedom was a muscle they remembered how to use. Fast, wild, and fully theirs.
In years, these bighorn sheep have been free in Utah's Antelope Island. New bloodlines, new terrain, same wild instincts. After being stranded on shore, rescuers helped this dolphin return home to the sea. After surviving a cruel trap, this badger's home is freedom.
What the man? Oh, that's classic. That's classic. I don't believe that. That's crazy. That's timing. See, beautiful moments like that, you know, really, when you often see something like that in the city.
A 2-week study, 3 meals, and then the ocean once again. This octopus played a vital.
us as the South African Predators Association to relocate 5 of our lions that's been DNA from.
They're not gonna do anything right now.
I'm scared. Tell Taylor to come out here and shoot. Look! Holy! Oh my God! Oh God!
830,000 Chinook salmon smolts were released into the American River to support future spawning runs. These juveniles will migrate to the ocean, then return to this exact spot to spawn. You thought video... Bear spotted lounging on a fence cause he knows no one can tell him off. Months ago, this coyote was on death row. 3 months later, it's healed and back where it belongs. You can bet he's gonna start howling about this later.
Roadside, a monkey strolls casually past traffic as if the concrete jungle were its own.
A group of 165 red deer were moved to a new region to be released.
She nearly died, but God thanks to the doctor, she came back from the dead, and I saw her looking almost dead.
She didn't rush into the trees. She paused and hugged.
Twitching, eyes locked. Freedom smells different for this lynx.
Dolly the seal couldn't believe it at first when she pushed the cage door open and found it unlocked. Without a second thought, she hurried back to her natural habitat.
He was a little late for work one morning because as he was leaving, he found cheetahs at his doorstep.
But significantly better. And he is ready to be reintroduced to the wild. So... And there's
Majestic and sincere, crosses the road like a moving mountain, reminding us that we share this world.
Sick for weeks. The first one couldn't wait to go home, but the second one did the sniff and pause test before going full speed ahead. The owl pauses, reads the wind, and then gone. Like a shadow.
Here we go. There he goes. Needs to go to the creek behind.
America's symbol of freedom gets its freedom. It was a gamble, but it paid off. To release a wolf, only for it to run away with a stick. Don't worry, he got out of it.
A wandering nilgai roams into a city field, stopping to watch people play nearby.
After a long journey and flight, the rhinos finally got to stretch their legs on the grasslands of Congo, where they'll now live and help restore.
For the first time in over 400 years, a beaver is back in Plymouth. This 20-kilogram male was relocated from Scotland and released into a specially built urban rewound house. After surgery and rehab, it's flying again near the Mississippi River. One strong flap, and it was like nothing ever happened. After a year in captivity to get healthy, this girl gained twice her body weight and settled back into her habitat without a hitch.
It's made it clear who truly rules the road.
As a line of ducks waddle proudly across the earth.
Their love for freedom comes from Mother Nature, but the hard work of the Foundation staff will make it possible for them to survive.
Natural Park. Too weak to hibernate last fall, they got a second chance this spring.
A little wobble, a hesitant step, and then, just like that,
I know this fluffy apex predator looks like he needs a hug, but thank goodness for that iron staircase.
Big bird, huh, girls? Beautiful.
1 million racing pigeons were released in Portugal.
Horia, Kuzia probably thought they wouldn't meet freedom again, but with every step into the trees, you could feel, pause, breathe, and look up at the trees that finally worked behind bars.
Cape Cod has one of the highest rates of dolphin strandings globally, but luckily, these two had a happy ending. Another group of flamingos heading back home. Freedom never looked so coordinated. The second their feet hit the shelf,
Before anyone can catch their breath, a big cat jumps upon a van in broad daylight.
after months in a boma learning to hunt, this cheetah finally stepped back into the wild. Her brief pause and glance back felt like a silent thank you to her rescuers. He growled, hissed, and generally acted like freedom was a personal insult. Classic honey badger behavior.
Breaks, a lone deer wanders into the city, lost among cars and lights it's never known before.
More like the first scene of a horror movie.
Check out these bighorn sheep being released. Some bolt straight for the...
After recovering from an injury, this fox finally gets to vanish back into the forest. Ever heard the phrase bull in a china shop? Well, here's a visual representation.
Looks like.
Some months cooped up in a barn, and it's seriously heartwarming. Turns out humans aren't the only ones who want to run and jump when they're happy. This is how they celebrate their first
Rescued from a dangerous area, this croc was released in a safer habitat by animal control. It lunged out like it had zero interest in staying, thanks. These twin black bear cubs spent the winter in rehab after losing their mother. Now, they're back in the Montana wild, stronger and ready to go. When the hotel's all-inclusive policy applies to the monkeys too. Hand over the bananas, human! This Janet's walking like he... Looks like the Elks Herd downtown Cherokee was the new hotspot for happy hour. Back into nature, no more stinking up homes. After months of recovery, these pelicans stretch their wings and take off like they never left. An ocelot gets his first day of freedom, and it decides to study the Yelp reviews of this forest.
Years in the tank, and yet she knew exactly what to do. Kay hesitated for just a breath, then became water again. To think we placed them in miserable conditions is gut-wrenching.
Nothing like an alarm clock that can make you pee your pants.
This next release. Wow.
of care led to this 1 second water beating feathers again. There was no celebration.
A fast, feisty mongoose bolts for freedom.
Let's head to Arizona, where the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service returned a pair of Mexican wolves to their natural habitat. They were rescued by volunteers a few months ago in poor condition. Watch these proud predators enjoy their newfound freedom.
Rescued and nursed back to health, these bats take to the night sky once again. From holding pens to open range, this is what these guys really live for. Nothing says roadside attraction like 2,000 pounds of I own this place. An endangered Indus river dolphin gets guided home.
He catches gator in trash can outside Florida home. I'm glad he could bring the animal back to where it belongs. Wolf crosses the road at dusk, silent and watchful, eyes glowing like embers in the fading. There, a curious bear pries open a car door, rummaging through the seats for food before lumbering off as if it owns the ride.
They're like roommates parting ways after college.
And for 10 days, finally opened. Now, he'll live in a protected forest in Indonesia, where he can enjoy his newfound freedom.
Edges of a cage that's no longer there. But her body remembers what her heart's still healing from. It looked chaotic at first, but then you realize this is what excitement looks like when a
There's loads of them. They're just coming down and getting everyone's food from tables. Wow.
Meet Millie, the alligator who's finally heading home to her natural habitat in the great state of Georgia.
When this big boy is hungry, even the national park kitchen isn't off limits when an elephant is in must.
Door, a camel wades into the sea, its reflection rippling beneath the sunset.
It's been wildfires and months of care, but this koala finally climbs home. is having its first flamingo release of 2019. Small, armored, and surprisingly quick, this armadillo paused for a second, then scurried straight into the brush. Safe from smugglers, this rare pangolin finally curls into safety again. Aight, I'm out. Thanks for the snacks.
I'm just making sure I can. Ready? There you go. Straight into the local school. I wasn't exactly thrilled about the crowd that was there.
Oh my god.
Flash. Hit by a car in 2013, this endangered panther spent nearly 2 years recovering at National Park.